Hey, hello and welcome back to another bullet journal video. Who here is excited for Christmas? I'd imagine the answer will be quite a few of you. It's been a bit of a traumatic year for most people. I've actually had a lot of positives to take away from this year, but nevertheless, it is now the middle of November and I am looking forward to getting on with my Christmas planning. So let's get started. I will apologise now, I am probably going to bump this camera more than once. I will try not to. And when I do, I will try not to bump it too badly. So yeah, middle of November already. In fact, today is a Friday the 13th. And I was looking earlier because I had a feeling that the only other time this year that we had a Friday the 13th was in March, which was when the UK first went into lockdown. As it happens, yes, we did. The only other Friday the 13th this year was indeed in March. And by that time we were having regular briefings. Oops. But we didn't actually get the official announcement to go into lockdown until the 16th, I think. I hope I'm also not shouting into the camera microphone because the camera is very close to my face. So I'll apologise if that is the case, and I'll try and correct it when I do the edit. But I thought I would try this other camera angle again because it's been a while since I last used it, and honestly I think the I can't write and speak at the same time, hang on. Honestly, I think the overhead shot, the one overhead, funnily enough, because that is what an overhead shot is, the overhead shot is easier, but I suspect that this might be preferable for you guys, so I'm also hoping that I'm actually going to stay in the shot more often, although admittedly I seem to have got better at doing that. What I do find with the overhead shot, funnily enough, is that it goes out of focus a lot, so I don't know if this is going to be any better. I guess I'll find out when I do the edit. So yeah, Christmas is coming up, and I don't know how prepared anybody else feels. I certainly don't feel prepared at all because I don't really know where this year's gone, and I think quite a few people are probably feeling like that. If you're overseas, then your situation might be a bit different, but here in the UK we're currently in lockdown part 2, so that started, what day is it today? Friday. It started about a week ago, last Thursday I think, and yeah, you know, I personally don't mind lockdown too much. I can work from home, my job is reasonably secure, you know, I'm one of the lucky people that isn't facing having to make a choice between an income, paying your bills, and being healthy or staying healthy. As I say, I'm very lucky as well that my job is pretty secure. It's not going to go anywhere, it's not going to change, so I feel very grateful for that because I know that's not everybody's situation. So yeah, how are you? How is your lockdown going? How is your Whereabouts in the world are you, and what are your current restrictions, and how are you doing? Because I think most people are finding this whole thing pretty stressful. You know, as I say, I don't have the worries about my job and you know, where my money's coming from or anything like that, but it is stressful in its own way. You know, and I'm sure that that's the same for some other people out there. So drop a comment down below and let me know how you're doing. So this is a gifting spread. I did something along these lines, well, not exactly the same as this. And again, I can't speak and type and write, so I can't spell recipient. I've just totally buggered that up, but that's fine. But I did something very similar to this last year. And I'm spreading it over 2 pages this year because I'm thinking that I will probably get lots of smaller gifts for people rather than, you know, multiple small gifts for people rather than like a single thing. Well, certainly for some people anyway. So I wanted to have plenty of space so that I could list everything in. It's a very simple spread. Very, very simple. So basically what you've got is you've got recipient, ignore how I spelt it there, I was trying to talk and write at the same time and it doesn't work. Recipient, gift, and then in the last column it's ordered, delivered, wrapped, given. I'm not planning on going Christmas shopping. I might go out into town or something, but I'm not planning on doing the Christmas shopping thing. I think probably a lot of people will be doing ordering online. And I'm planning to shop from a lot of smaller retailers wherever I can. So that's what that's all about. And this way you've got a column so you can keep track of when you've ordered something, when you've physically got it, when you've actually wrapped it, and then when you've finally given it. And that could be sending it in the post as well as actually giving it to somebody. So it's a very simple spread. There's lots of space on here. It's a really simple idea. And that's it. That is literally it done. That's how quick it is. So yeah, we'll turn over and we'll carry on this side. The next spread is for cards, for Christmas cards. Now, this is an interesting question. I would be interested to know, that is not a very good circle, never mind. I would be interested to know how many people actually write a decent, well, the kind of quantity of cards that you used to. So I don't know if this is a getting older thing, because I'm now in my 40s, or whether this is a 21st century thing. I don't really know. I don't give as many cards, write as many cards, or send as many cards as I used to. I have a lot of friends overseas as well, and I still don't seem to write anything like the number of cards that I used to. And I'm wondering if other people have that same, or are having that same experience, that actually writing cards is not something that you do as much of anymore. There you go, no spelling mistakes there. Yeah, I'd be really interested to know, because I don't seem to do this now. But you know, I will be sending a few cards. I always send a few cards. You know, friends overseas and what have you. But I don't know, I kind of feel like it's a bit wasteful in some ways. You know, you get a card and you plonk it down on a surface so it gathers dust for a while, and then eventually you know, you take everything down after Christmas, and it goes in the bin. And so yeah, I don't know, it feels just kind of a bit wasteful. And obviously quite a few cards can't be recycled or anything either. I think I used to kind of make a bit more of a big deal of it, or I used to enjoy it more when I used to have lots of time to make my own cards. I used to really enjoy doing that, and I haven't done that for the past few years for reasons. And I'm not intending on doing that this year either, as it happens. But yeah. But the thing was, even when I was making my own cards, I couldn't make hundreds and hundreds of them or anything like that, because obviously I'm making my own. So I used to still send less than like when I was younger. Gosh, I remember like the first couple of jobs I had, and like when you're in school, I think, did anybody else ever find that when you were in school, you sent cards to everybody, like even people you didn't really like? And I remember being a teenager and getting loads and loads of cards as well, and it was kind of a thing, wasn't it, that you just sort of, I don't know, it wasn't like a status thing, but it used to be quite nice to look and see that you had loads and loads of cards sitting on the shelf or mantelpiece or whatever, or hanging on the wall. No idea why I'm doing little dots for this, but probably because I don't really know who I'm sending cards to yet. So it makes this page a little bit more interesting. I'll come back in and do the colouring after as well. So there you go. Again, quite simple and straightforward. Uses up a lot of space, and also doesn't actually really need like loads of space for, I don't know what I'm saying. You don't need loads of space for like writing in people's names. It's great for that. So yeah, do you send a lot of cards? Like I say, it seems to be something I'm doing less and less these days. But yeah, so we'll move on. The next page is like, it's a bit like an advent calendar. So I did this last year and I bloomin' loved it. It was one of my most favourite Christmas spreads that I've ever done. So I'm doing it again this year, because, you know, if you like a thing, do it twice. So the idea is, what I think a lot of people do is they do things like a doodle a day, and I would never remember to do a doodle every day. I tried it a couple of years, and what I found was I would do the first few and then run out of time. Whoops, sorry about that. Bump the camera, and so I'd do like a few days of it and then not really have a lot of time, and you know, something had come up or whatever. Christmas period's usually pretty busy, you know, trying to get all your shit together and sort everything out in time for Christmas. And so yeah, what I found was that I'd started quite well, but then didn't have really like the finishing power or the sticking power for it. So I'd end up not carrying on, and so I forget who it was. It might have been, I want to say it was Amanda Rachel Lee that did this, or something similar to it, where instead of doing doodle a day, what you do is you draw the doodles in first. So you draw a doodle in for the 25 days, and then instead of it being doodle a day drawing it in, you just have to colour it. And I did this last year, and oh my god, it was so much fun. I really, really, really enjoyed it. So I'm doing the same thing again, or doing something similar anyway. So I am drawing in some different doodles to those that I had last year, and I will colour them as I go. So once we get to the 1st of December, then I colour in this one, and this is kind of like on the 1st of December, or around the 1st of December is usually when I put up my decorations. So hence why it's usually like the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, something like that, depending on what day of the week it is and whether I'm working and stuff. So yeah, that's what this spread is all about. Which kind of brings me to another thing, actually. I'm wondering how many people are going to put up their Christmas decorations early. Are you putting up your Christmas decorations now? Like in November? Or are you going to wait until December? Are you kind of dealing with it in a normal way? You know, not doing anything different? I think my husband has threatened to burn the Christmas tree if I put the decorations up early. So I will probably... I've tried cooking up quite a few plans with my friends, but I suspect that I will have to wait until December to put my decorations up. But are you putting them up early? Drop a comment and let me know. How early are you putting them up? Are they already up? How long have they been up? So yeah, I'd love to know. You know, because at the end of the day, if enough of you say that you've already put your decorations up, maybe I can convince him that now is the time. Who knows? So yeah, I'm just going to carry on drawing these in, and I dare say I will draw them in a bit quicker if I'm not talking, because, you know, concentrating and all that. I feel like I'm doing a better job of drawing these in than I did last year as well, which is kind of nice. Although that's gone a bit squiffy. That's what I get for saying that it's going better than last year. I hope that you guys can see this on this camera angle. I would hate to think that I'm kind of going through this whole pain of having the camera like really in my way, and then you not actually really be able to see what I'm doing. But I kind of feel like it's worth it, because if you can see it, then you probably see it better than if it was overhead, because sometimes if it's overhead my hand gets in the way and you can't see what the heck I'm doing. So hopefully this will work out better. And I'm doing a reasonably decent job of keeping everything in shot, so that you can actually see it. And if not, then I will be very embarrassed. So yeah, I'm just going to carry on with these, and I'll put some music on in the background for you. I'm going to see if I can try and find something a bit festive, like jingly. Not jingle bells. Although I dare say that's probably, what's the word, open license or whatever. That is the wonkiest candy cane in the world. I apologise to the world of candy cane manufacturers. Clearly, I should be banned from doing anything involving candy canes. Okay, so there you go, that's 25 little doodles. Now, a couple of the things that I do with this, because I think it helps to make it a bit more attractive and a bit more fun, is to step outside the boxes. So almost every single one of these little drawings goes outside of the box in some way. Most of them are off centre. The other thing that I do is so that you don't just have like the same size box in several rows, to take up a bit more space, is some of the sort of key dates. I make a bigger box and a slightly bigger doodle, so that's Christmas Eve, Christmas Day and Boxing Day, and you can move things around. So like here, because this is a bigger box, instead of having 5 of the smaller boxes across, it's 3 of the smaller boxes and 1 of the slightly bigger boxes. The same there, and obviously moving them along, so that's moved along slightly and that's moved along that way slightly, and so on and so forth. And it just helps to add a bit of extra interest. Just one more, well, I say one more, actually a double page spread, 2 more pages to do. So I will crack on with that for you and put the music back on for a little while. Okay, so that's mostly done. I'm going to go back and do the colouring now and do these headers, because I need to do those with a marker pen. So yeah, I'll carry on with that, and I'll go back to the music for you. there we go, that is all of the Christmas planning spreads complete. So you've got the gifting spread for ordering, wrapping and giving gifts. Then you've got the Christmas cards to send, and that will just be a list. And then you've got the countdown. So this will be colouring in each one of these drawings, each one of these doodles on the run up to Christmas, in fact on the run up to New Year, because one of the things I should have said was I actually do the whole of December with this, because I've got the space, and actually the whole period's kind of fun. And then the last two spreads, you've got the Christmas movies to watch. Now I haven't actually decided whether I'm going to put little pictures of movie posters in this kind of film strip. It was just a decorative element to begin with, but I actually kind of like the idea of maybe putting some of my favourites in here. This will just be a tick list. I've got a bunch of DVDs that I've collected over the years of all my favourite Christmas movies, and I try to watch them all running up to Christmas and also over the Christmas period. So I will make that list when I've dug out all of those DVDs, and I usually dig them out and then put them to one side. And then finally there's this spread which I realised I didn't actually give you any explanation for. I did this once before in a previous year, and I can't for the life of me remember where I got the inspiration from. It was something I think I saw on Pinterest. And I will, if I can figure out who did the original spread, the original design, then I will note that in the description box. But there's quite a few similar kinds of things and of the same thing on the internet, online and on Pinterest. It's just trying to figure out who the original credit is for. But essentially the original design had, these were things like your gift list and who you're sending cards to and stuff, but the boxes were too small for me to use in that way. But I have decided that instead of doing that, as Christmas is going to be a bit weird this year, I have a box for planning my Christmas Day meal menu, the things that I need to do to prepare for Christmas, a list of things that I want to do to help me feel festive, because there's a lot of things I would normally do that I won't be able to do this year. For example, going to like Christmas markets and things is going to be off. And then a little box for Christmas Day activities. So normally we have my parents here, and I inflict games on them during the Christmas dinner meal. This year they won't be with us. We'll be having to do something a bit different. So there are probably some other things that I will do instead to help with that sort of festive feeling on the day. And that concludes, you probably just heard my front door in the background, and that concludes the setup for my Christmas planning spreads. The only thing left to say is that the glitter washi tape was a gift from a friend. I think it was Jess, so thank you Jess. I think it came from the works, and this is really, really, really nice glitter washi tape. It's not plasticky and it doesn't shed, and as you can see it's quite sparkly, and I have a bunch of different colours. So I will be using some of this washi tape in my setup for December, and obviously to tape off the edges for my Christmas stuff as well. My dog just came for a little visit as well, just in case you heard him panting in the background. He's just got back from his walk. And that is it. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope that you've enjoyed this and that you found it useful. Obviously drop me some comments down below and let me know how you're preparing for Christmas and how you're generally feeling. You know, things are a little bit strange at the moment, and we're just doing our best, I guess. But thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you next time. Thank you. Bye.